Here's your news for September 27, 2019. We're starting off with some WWE news as the company's main shows are about to sound a whole lot different. Yesterday, WWE confirmed widespread changes to the commentary desks for both Raw and SmackDown, while NXT will remain the same. A press release from WWE hyping up their upcoming Premiere Week confirmed the changes, saying, WWE Premiere Week ushers in an unprecedented era of coverage with special episodes of Monday Night Raw, NXT, Total Divas, and the Fox debut of Friday Night SmackDown, bringing fans 8 hours of primetime programming. As part of WWE Premiere Week, new voices will be brought to the Raw, NXT, and SmackDown broadcasts. Raw's new announced team will include play-by-play from Vic Joseph with Dio Madden and WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler serving as analysts. NXT play-by-play will be called by Mauro Ranallo with Beth Phoenix and Nigel McGuinness as analysts, and SmackDown will feature Michael Cole handling play-by-play, Corey Graves serving as analyst, and Renee Young as a special contributor. It's good to see the King is okay after being attacked by The Fiend, though hopefully he'll be safe behind the desk. These changes also mark a huge step for Dio Madden, who only recently joined Vic Joseph and Aiden English on 205 Live, and the former Houston Texan will now be working on WWE's flagship show, though there's still no news on what the plans are for 205 Live. Though the changes are good news for some, it's bad news for the likes of Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips, and while fans are pleased to see the King back, he won't be around for long, according to the Pro Wrestling Sheet. Lawler will likely only be used for a short period of time on Raw. We're told other people are being looked at for the spot on a full-time basis. Fans should enjoy Lawler while they can, as the Hall of Famer is one of the most well-known commentators of all time. Renee Young will certainly be busy over the next few months, as not only will she be working as a SmackDown commentator, but she'll also be serving as the host for the company's new studio show. Yesterday, Fox Sports confirmed the much-rumored show WWE Backstage, which Triple H promised back in April, and although we don't know too much, we know Young will be hosting. The Canadian commentator will be joined by Booker T when the show premieres on November 5th, as well as a rotating cast of guests and personalities to cover the biggest stories in WWE. Fans won't have to wait until November for the show though, as a special preview will air on October 15th after Fox Sports' baseball playoff game. On this preview, fans will get their first look at the set for WWE Backstage, and it sounds like it'll feature its own ring, but only time will tell. From one Renee to another now, as Renee Maverick, the wife of Drake Maverick, has joined the quest for the 24/7 title. Renee, who refused to consummate her marriage until Maverick held the title long enough, posted a video of her pursuit for the new 24/7 champion Carmella and started her hunt in the mall. While there, Renee was confronted by her husband, and while the squabble between the two ended with Drake taking her phone away, she uploaded the video anyway. Carmella captured the title this week on Raw from her pal R-Truth, and while her reign is just a few days long, that still makes her one of the longest reigning champions. It'll be interesting to see how much longer the Staten Island Princess can hold the gold, and if either Maverick will be able to find her. Over to NXT now, and after last week's debut on the USA Network, Triple H celebrated in a very unique way by jumping into the crowd for a Full Sail Arena selfie. This week, the WWE COO continued his fun ways by attending a dinner party he was invited to by fans who probably thought he wouldn't actually show up. The fans and the game bonded over their shared love of NXT, and was sent another invite for him to join them at the Ale House. Though he couldn't eat and drink with the fans, Triple H made it clear he appreciates the fans, a class act by the 14-time world champion. Showing up, the game surprised the fans, although they may have seen it coming, since WWE's camera crew were already there to capture the entire event. From NXT to Raw now, as the company has confirmed another huge title match for the upcoming season premiere of the Red brand. On WWE.com, the company confirmed that as well as the Universal and US titles, the Raw Tag Team titles will be on the line, saying, "The season premiere of Monday Night Raw will play host to a cross-branded battle for the fate of the Raw Tag Team Championship when Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode defend their titles against Friday Night SmackDown powerhouses Heavy Machinery." Next week's Raw will emanate from the Talking Stick Resort in Phoenix, Arizona, and the show has plenty of reasons to tune in. Aside from the 3 title matches, there will also be a special appearance by Brock Lesnar, Miz TV with guests Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair, and Sasha Banks takes on Alexa Bliss. Many fans have noticed it's strange for the SmackDown tag team to get a shot at the Raw tag titles, but with the WWE draft set for next month, the pair could soon find themselves on the red brand and as champions. One man who knows all about championship gold in WWE is John Morrison, who is reportedly coming back to the company very soon. Morrison hasn't been seen in WWE since his November 2011 release, but may be back very soon according to this report from the PW Insider. Former Impact Wrestling champion John Hennigan has signed a deal to return to World Wrestling Entertainment, PWInsider.com has confirmed. Hennigan, 39 years old, had a long run with WWE after winning the 3rd season of their Tough Enough reality series, performing for the promotion through 2011 as John Morrison. During his first run with the company, he held the WWE Intercontinental Championship, the WWE version of the ECW title, and had several WWE Tag Team title reigns with Joey Mercury. After competing on Tough Enough 3 in 2002, Morrison spent 9 years with the company and has had plenty of success since his release, working with Lucha Underground and Impact. It'll be interesting to see whether the Shaman of Sexy will actually be back, but it's not difficult to believe WWE will re-sign him, just to avoid seeing another popular former WWE superstar go to AEW. As we mentioned earlier, next week's edition of Raw will see Sasha Banks face Alexa Bliss, and the boss is very excited for the bout. Though she'll face Becky Lynch at Hell in a Cell, Banks said she's been looking forward to this match for her entire life, even referring to her Women's Tag Team Champion opponent as one of the greatest ever. With the personal beef between Bliss and Banks being pretty well known, many fans were taken aback by the Blueprint's kind words, though it was quickly discovered that what she said wasn't her words. Banks' tweet was actually a word-for-word copy of what Universal Champion Seth Rollins commented about facing Rey Mysterio next week, as the Blueprint was more than willing to poke fun at the fiancé of the man. Regardless of what Banks may say, she and Lynch have a date with Destiny inside Hell in a Cell next Sunday, but it wouldn't surprise us if these two came to blows on the season premiere of Raw. While Banks, Lynch, and many other superstars have matches next Sunday at Hell in a Cell, the company has been very preoccupied. At this point in time, there are more matches booked for SmackDown's debut on Fox than for the pay-per-view, and this lack of booking has been reflected in the event's ticket sales. There are still nearly 500 tickets left for the show on October 6th, but it's also important to remember that WWE didn't put every section up for sale. 2 sections that are up for sale, however, have over 100 tickets available, a sign that things aren't selling as well as they should be. With the pay-per-view just over a week away, it seems everyone who was planning on going would have bought their tickets by now, so don't expect these ticket sales to go up by much in the future. It's not hard to see why WWE has been distracted though, as with Raw's season premiere, SmackDown on Fox, NXT on the USA Network, and much more, it seems Hell in a Cell has just slipped through the cracks. As we reported, another big change the company will make soon is their new WWE Backstage show on November 5th, and while Renee Young and Booker T will serve as hosts, they weren't the only ones considered for the role. The Big Lead reported recently that there were plenty of people auditioning for the host role, and one of them was none other than former SmackDown general manager Paige. Brad Shepard is now claiming that Paige must have impressed people with her skills, as she was offered the role of hosting Backstage, but reportedly turned it down. Since being ousted as GM, Paige has served as the manager of the Kabuki Warriors, but hasn't been seen with Asuka or Kairi Sane for a while as she's recovering from her more recent surgery on her neck. We don't know what WWE has planned for Paige next, but we'll hopefully get a better clue when she's all healed up. Back to NXT, and while Matt Riddle has the opportunity of a lifetime next week for the NXT title, things weren't always as good for the King of Bros. Before joining wrestling, Riddle worked as a fighter in UFC, but was released from the company after a series of failed drug tests. Speaking on the My Mom's Basement podcast with Robbie Fox this week, UFC president Dana White, a self-confessed wrestling fan, said he has no regrets about releasing the welterweight, but admitted Riddle may feel differently, saying, "That place and time where we were, it was the right move. I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's been successful and is doing well. I don't wish the kid any ill will. I don't hate Matt Riddle or dislike Matt Riddle in any way. I know he feels the opposite, as he should, but I don't wish him any ill will or anything like that. I don't regret the decision I made at that time. Riddle spent the majority of his MMA career in the UFC, amassing an impressive 7-3-0-2 NC record, with his last match being in February 2014, where he defeated Michael Coupier in a second-round submission at Titan Fighting Championship 27. While Riddle is scheduled to compete against Adam Cole on this week's NXT, this match may not happen, according to a report by WWE Now host Matt Camp. Recently, Camp gave an update on NXT's roster, with Cole's condition being listed as questionable thanks to a radius fracture in his right arm. On the most recent edition of NXT, Cole was locked in a Fujiwara armbar by the King of Bros after the NXT champion came out to taunt Riddle following his street fight victory over Killian Dane. As of right now, Cole is still scheduled to defend his title against Riddle on the October 2nd edition of the show, but the card, as always, is subject to change. We've spoken a lot about WWE's deal with Fox to air SmackDown, and while this may be a very profitable venture for the wrestling promotion, this week saw a major setback. This week, the Dish Network and Sling both dropped Fox and their affiliate channels in 17 markets, which will affect Dish's 12 million subscribers, as well as the many millions who subscribe to Sling's streaming service. This is bad news for WWE, who will now be in less homes on Fox, though a representative for the network has said that this action is just a tactic to get Fox to agree to what they described as outrageous demands. Hopefully this situation will be resolved soon, as with WWE planning on working with Fox for many years, this isn't what the promotion needs to hear. We're looking at ROH now, and the company has confirmed that legendary wrestling theme producer Jim Johnson will create new entrance music for PCO. The new theme will debut at ROH Death Before Dishonor tonight, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, and will be Jim Johnson's return to the business. It's unknown whether Johnson will continue to work with ROH or if this is a one-time thing, but Johnson's career speaks for itself. For 3 decades, Johnson worked with WWE, creating iconic themes for the likes of The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, and many more. And finally today we've got some news from superstar Billy Graham, who was admitted to the hospital earlier this week. According to his wife Valerie, Graham was admitted with shortness of breath and has now told fans that the former world champion is dealing with congestive heart failure. Doctors also checked for blood clots in his lungs, though thankfully nothing was found. The report on Hannibal TV claims Graham suffered a minor heart attack, and while this hasn't been confirmed, it's been noted that he was experiencing shortness of breath all the way back in April, and during that time, he couldn't walk upstairs. Graham recently took to Facebook to update his fans, saying, "Hey fans, I'm back home from the Mayo Clinic Hospital. I wanted to thank everyone for their well wishes and prayers. I need rest right now, but by this coming Sunday evening, I will give all my Facebook fans an in-depth report on the status of my heart. All I will say for now is I have suffered a heart attack and I am in constant heart failure. I am, of course, on medications for my heart and will be for the remainder of my life. I'm keeping the faith and will fight. Superstar Billy Graham." The legendary superstar has been plagued with health issues his entire career, beginning with a hip replacement in 1986 that nearly brought his time in the ring to a close. Recovering, Graham would later receive a liver transplant in 2002 and was hospitalized with bowel obstruction 4 years later. Since then, Graham has sadly been in and out of the hospital several times, including liver problems in 2010, double pneumonia in 2013, and internal bleeding in 2016. We would like to extend our best wishes to Graham, his family, and his friends at this worrying time, and hopefully, the legendary superstar will be able to recover.